Top 5 fragrances for men that are perfect for a night out. And all of these fragrances will get you huge compliments. They really work very well. They're mass appealing. They possess a charming DNA. Some of these are a bit on the sweet side of things, but you're also going to see a lot of unbridled sophistication with a lot of these fragrances. I'm quite eager to share this list with you in just a moment, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's episode and I tell you about these 5 fragrances for the gentleman, all of these are sophisticated. They're perfect for a night out. They have a mass appealing DNA, but a lot of them have this mysterious intrigue about them. They're quite enigmatic. I'll let you know why I think so as I talk about them. But before I start today's episode, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So of course, getting started with this list, I do want to mention that if you're interested in trying a lot of these fragrances, you may do so at scentsplit.com. Of course, they have a fantastic service where you can just purchase a decant, 5 milliliters, 10 milliliters, whatever, piques your interest, and you can try it on skin, see how it works with your skin chemistry. And if it's not in alignment with your personal taste, because our pH levels are different, skin chemistry is different, and it's a very important variable, then you don't have to purchase a full-size bottle. But if you love it, at least you can say you sampled it first through a site like ScentSplit. They are fantastic. All of the information is going to be down below for your convenience. But let's just go ahead and jump into the video. The first one that I want to talk about, and this is like a tried and true fragrance. It is Armani Code Parfum. Now, Armani Code has had many fragrances in their lineup, if you will, that I've fallen in love with. Armani Code Absolute and Profumo, and there have been so many throughout the years, but this is one that has stuck around and will stick around. This one is a very long-lasting iteration of the original Armani Code, which has been around for like forever. This one has this creamy, rich, velvety tonka bean in the dry down. So it's a very smooth composition. It's very easy to wear, very easy to pull off. And this one conveys a sense of sophistication, It's interesting because you have some tonka bean fragrances that are on the playful side of things. I'm thinking of fragrances like Versace Eros or Mandarina Duck Pure Black. There are a lot of creamy, slightly sweet tonka bean fragrances, but this one leans more on the sophisticated and mature side of things, which I think is what a lot of people tend to be going for nowadays, right? A lot of people are kind of doing away with some of the more juvenile iterations of tonka bean, and believe me, there's a lot of them, especially when you start compounding tonka bean with vanilla. But this one is amazing. You wear this on a night out, you're going to get looks, you're going to get compliments, and it's just very suave, very sophisticated. Such a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. All right, moving on. We also have this one. It's on the pricey side of things. So, again, utilize services like scentsplit.com. This is Original Santal by Creed. This is a perfect night out fragrance. The cinnamon, the sandalwood, it's creamy. It's a bit on the sweeter side of things. Yes, there's also Mont Blanc Individuel, and you can purchase that one as well. That one is a lot more inexpensive than the Creed. I know a lot of people say that they prefer this one because of basically the quality of the raw materials. So this one comes across smelling a bit more elegant, a bit more polished, a bit more refined. And then of course, a lot of people have done away with Yop which came out, many years, several decades ago. And that one was quite popular in decades past, but that one is a bit harsh and a bit astringent for people. This one, I think, also has a touch of juniper in here as well. So it's a very classy type of a fragrance. Definitely gives off like Casanova vibes. So this is a great one, definitely on the sensual side of things, whereas Armani Code Parfum, perfect for a night out, a bit more on the sophisticated side of things. Sophisticated, and then here we have playful and sensual. Let's move on to the next one. And all right, so this one I love. You can go with the original. The original has the longevity in terms of its mass appeal, not performance. This one has better performance over the original. And this one by Emporio Armani is Stronger With You, absolutely. It's really rich. You have the amber, you have that nutty profile in here as well. And that original Stronger With You DNA is so popular. We've seen so many other brands utilize it, and for good reason. I think it's an incredible fragrance. And this one is so good. Every time I wear this one, I'm like, I made the right choice today. This one is actually a nice balance between these two in terms of the vibes that it conveys. So this one is sophisticated, but it's also playful. So this one is going to bear a lot more sweetness than Armani Code Parfum. So we have two Armani fragrances, Giorgio Armani and Emporio Armani. This one is a bit more sophisticated. This is a bit more playful. So I think it's a nice balance if you're trying to kind of walk the line between these two. This one is fantastic for that. Again, wonderful fragrance, perfect for a night out. Doesn't matter where you're going, party, club, maybe you're going dancing with a romantic partner or, you know, a special someone. Let's move on to the next one. And this one, go into a major department store that carries this one, because this one is, it can be sampled now, right? I don't know if you're going to find a sample online. So I probably am not going to link this one down below unless I do find a reputable place online where you can sample it, or I'm just going to link the official website. It's the brand new Dior Parfum by Christian Dior. Francis Kirkjohn composition. I know you've probably seen a few reviews of this one already, and I love this one. I think it's solid. It has this earthy texture in the dry down. I believe there's vetiver in here. There's also amber, but it's not a sweet leaning amber. It has a sophisticated appeal to it, but I think it's the inclusion of the note of iris that kind of creates this sensual demeanor about the fragrance. And yes, it is a lipstick leaning iris. So you are going to be reminded of the original Dior Parfum. You're going to be reminded of Dior Intense. I find this one to be a bit smoother and not as sweet as the original Dior Parfum. But you know what happens? You know, a lot of fragrances, when there's vanilla and it's been left to macerate or it's aged, you know, over the course of a few years, the vanilla becomes a bit more intense. And so what happens is maybe this one, because it's freshly, you know, composed, it's not as sweet. At least that's my experience. I don't find this to be as sweet as, you know, some of the previous iterations of some of the sweeter leaning Dior fragrances, namely Dior Parfum and Dior Intense. But look, in the number one spot, I'm thinking of a night out. When you're, if we're talking about a night out, you want to have fun, right? You want to put yourself out there. Usually you're with a romantic interest, or you're hanging out with friends. Maybe you're going to a lounge, or you're going to a bar, or you're going to a party or a club. So this one is going to be a bit sweet leaning, but it's not a juvenile sweetness. This one has raspberry liqueur in it. There's cognac, there's tonka bean absolute, there's a touch of oak moss, but it's not about the oak moss in this one. It has the boozy facets, but it also has that fruity sweetness on account of the raspberry liqueur. This stuff is incredible. I just picked this one up, and as soon as I saw the ad for it, I said, please let this be real. Because we see so many like mock-ups, and you know, nowadays there's so much AI generation on the internet, and you know, people like to put out fake perfumes and they speculate, you know, like, oh, what could the next flanker for XYZ perfume be? So when I saw this one being teased, I said, please God, let this be a real fragrance. It's the brand new Angel Share Paradis by Kilian Paris. Dude, praline, raspberry liqueur, tonka bean absolute, cognac. It's boozy, it's rich, it's a bit sweeter, not as spicy as the original. You know, the original, I always thought about the cinnamon, the amber, the booze, you know, the cognac. This one with the praline and the raspberry liqueur, amazing. I think, you know, when we're talking about the original Angel Share, which I have 2 or 3 bottles of at this point, I don't remember. I think I have 3 bottles of it. When we're talking about the original Angel Share, that one I think is in the running of being like their best fragrance or their best selling fragrance, right next to Love Don't Be Shy. And we know because of the whole Rihanna's signature scent thing, that one gained a lot of steady traction and increasing popularity. Angel Share Paradis, I think this one is going to be probably their next bestseller. I don't know if it's going to be up there with the original, but I think this one is going to do immensely well. Anyway, Thank you so much for watching. 5 fragrances for the gentleman that I think are perfect for a night out. Are you interested in picking up any of these fragrances? If so, I would love to hear from you. Drop your comment down below. I always love the interaction. I read every single comment. And once again, if you took anything of value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. So thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.